All right, it's time for another entry of the Restring discussion series. This is the informal series where I restring a guitar and talk about it. Today I'm talking about the Ibanez RG550 Genesis, and this is one in Road Flare Red. I apologize if my camera makes it orange or anything like that. The lighting in here is weird. I have done some videos on restringing guitars and doing A/B tests on them, but I found that the difference between them was starting to form a pattern. So instead of creating the same video over and over again, I'm just going to restring this guitar and tell you how it's been. If you've clicked this video, you're probably wondering what are the details on this, is it worth buying? So I will go ahead and tell you. But spoiler alert, I am very pleased with this guitar. So how has this guitar been? Now, as we all know, this is an Ibanez. It's made in Japan Ibanez. It used to be $1,000 USD. It got a $50 price bump, unfortunately, recently. It is what it is. But I do still think it's worth it. And I want to start off saying the neck profile on this guitar, it just feels perfect to me. I am an Ibanez fan, and I have been ever since I've basically almost started playing guitar. I did start off on basically the Squire, the starter set or whatever it's called. That guitar was pretty awful. And then I moved on to a Made in Mexico Tele. This was about in 2005 or so. That was a cool guitar. But then I got an Ibanez S470, and it was made in Korea, and it was awesome, and I played live with it and everything. I put deactivators in it. Love that thing. But since then, I've gravitated towards the RG, and this is the quintessential RG. Of course, this is the Genesis. It's not the one from the late 80s, early 90s, and I understand the neck profile is a bit different, but this neck profile is basically perfect for me. I want to say it's kind of a mix between the Prestiges from, I guess, the 2010s, because the first Prestige I could afford was in 2013. That's this RG655 right here. And the neck on this is super thin. It's pretty much as thin as my J Custom too. But it's thin enough that until I improved my technique, it was actually uncomfortable. And then more modern Prestiges like this RG5121, which is amazing. It's super comfortable, but I feel the neck is actually a bit thicker than the other one, than that RG655, than the J Custom. And so I do like this for longer playing sessions. It is easier on my hand. But then coming back to the RG550 here, the Genesis, I feel the neck is kind of in between, kind of more towards the more modern Prestige, but it is both thin and comfortable. I find myself grabbing this guitar even though I have a bunch of other guitars at my disposal. And when I do grab it, it is just so much fun to play. It has the perfect RG body, no surprises there. You've got the pickguard, you've got the flat top with the forearm carve. It's that typical super strat shape. It's ergonomic, but not too crazy. You have amazing fret access, and I'll talk a bit more about that later. But in summary, the neck profile is great. There's no binding or anything. You've got just regular maple neck, and then you've got the maple fretboard. It feels great. You've got the typical nickel silver frets. I do personally prefer the stainless steel frets, but I don't really have anything against the nickel silver. I do prefer the feel of the stainless steel, the slightly smoother feel, but this I'm perfectly fine with. And for a made in Japan guitar at this price point, you can't complain. This is great. The fretwork is just fine. There's no sharp edges or anything on either side at all. If you've watched my reviews on this guitar, I did have kind of a rocky start at first, but once I figured out the setup and got it stabilized, it's been pretty perfect since then. So the neck profile is great. I do pick it up and play it, and I do enjoy it even a bit more than some of my more expensive guitars, which is crazy because it doesn't have the more expensive features. For example, it doesn't have the lumen lays, although that hasn't really been a problem for me. When I was playing live, I was playing live with a guitar that didn't have lumen lays. And honestly, stage nerves were more of a problem for me than seeing what was on the fretboard. Another premium feature it doesn't have is it doesn't have like name brand pickups. It doesn't have bare knuckles or Fishmans or anything like that. And these pickups are okay, the V7, the V8, they get the job done. And I found after years of failing miserably at trying to configure amps, get amp settings, get plug-in settings just right to sound good. After years of failing at that, I've finally gotten something that's okay enough to work. And the settings I've made, the presets I've made, have worked well enough with enough guitars that I have stopped changing pickups on guitars. Pickups can make a difference in sound. They definitely make a difference in feel to the guitarist playing. But as my technique has gotten just a little bit better, again, I'm not a virtuoso or anything, and as my, amp adjustment skills have gotten past terrible to mediocre, these pickups, they do get the job done. And oftentimes in full mixes, it's not too decipherable. If I'm using a guitar with super awesome pickups like my RG655, I put bare knuckle aftermaths in, or this guitar, I just got to get the take right. I got to make sure I'm using the right preset that I've made. So while it would benefit this guitar to upgrade the pickups, I haven't felt the ultra need to do that yet. And I actually did a review on my RG5320 where I was thinking about the pickups, stuff like that. And then I did some tone demos of that, and listening back on that, it actually sounded pretty good. So don't let the pickups on this deter you from considering this guitar. Of course, when it comes to restringing this guitar itself, it does have the Edge bridge, which is a fantastic bridge, very stable. But yeah, restringing a floating bridge, you gotta learn how to do that. And I do have a video on that. But I also want to talk about how the square heel has been, the tilt scarf or the tilt joint, whatever it's called. And it's pretty okay. It's definitely not the all-access neck joint by any means. You're always going to feel that square heel, and you might have to get used to putting your thumb up here. There's going to be a bunch of people who will tell you it's just fine. There's going to be a few people who will tell you it's pretty annoying. And I guess objectively, the all-access neck joint, because it curves and stuff, it is always going to let you access just a bit more. But as long as you get used to it, as long as you have your guitar in a high enough up position on the strap or anything like that, it's not so bad. It's not the end of the world to get to the top frets. And then other miscellaneous things, I do continue to appreciate how the output jack is right here. So you can play it sitting down in the standard kind of style, this classical kind of style. You can play it standing up just fine, wrap the cable around the strap. It's just, to me, this is the ultimate position to put the output jack. I know, kind of a weird thing to care about, but I guess it can matter. The pickguard is the pickguard. If you tend to have your picking hand, I guess, more thumb forward onto the body, you do feel the pickguard. So maybe that matters to you. It doesn't matter too much to me. The HSH pickup configuration, I used to only prefer just 2 humbuckers, but having the middle single coil, which I do lower because I do pick not the hardest, but I do pick a little bit heavy, so I have lowered it. But it's really made me appreciate the position 4 kind of pickup setting. I really love it with cleans. It actually sounds really good. I didn't change anything about my clean favorite preset at all, and it just sounds really good. So that's been a pleasant surprise. But overall ownership of this guitar, it was pretty good. I worked through figuring out how to set it up. And again, I'm not a professional guitar tech. I'm just self-taught. I've just done a bunch of stuff until it's played correctly, played how I like it. I do prefer lower action, but it's been a very fun guitar to play. And I think it's a combination of the basswood is just the perfect weight. The trem is really good. The pickups get the job done. The color is very cool. Like on camera, it looks a certain way, but in person, it just crackles. It's amazing. You see it in the sunlight and you're like, whoa. And the black pickguard and the black hardware really complement the Road Flare Red really well. Overall, it's a really cool looking guitar. It's a fun guitar to play. And I liked it so much, I sold off one of my guitars. I sold off my Schecter E7 because I wasn't playing it too much. And I got another RG550 Genesis in the desert yellow to have in a different tuning. This one's in standard tuning. This guy I have in drop C. And of course I did change the, you can see the potentiometer knobs. I changed them out just for fun. So there you have it. That's been my long-term ownership experience of the Ibanez RG550 Genesis. What did you think about this video? Was it enlightening? Was it a bit too rambly? Be sure to comment down below. And to continue the discussion, join the Discord. We have fun talking about guitar stuff there. And hey, this is YouTube, so I have to say the YouTube things. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, print out every frame and mail it. If you're looking for something cool to listen to, I'm on all major streaming services, Hi-Z Productions. I do some originals and some video game music covers. And hey, as always, peace.